He's mad. He's mad.
Ooh, that's Bobby Dale. He's a really famous. He's so good.
Okay, cool.
उसने दादाजान को अपनी आंखों के सामने जलते हुए देख लिया. From that day, he can't speak.
Oh.
So I'm going to be the bridge between you and my brother, Abra.
I don't like that. Ooh, I like that jacket.
फरीन से होना करार पाया है. आपको कबूल है?
Get it.
Why did you marry this guy?
I married him because he can't talk. I prefer peace in a relationship. What about you?
He's loaded.
Wow. So who even is? Who are these people? Who is anyone?
I know. I assume.
Is this the evil brother?
I think so. That's my hunch. This is very James Bond villain-esque.
Yeah. There's villain vibes for sure. Especially this guy. He's got some villain vibes. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. What did he say to him?
He said, "Oh my God!"
Is that what he said?
He said his brother was killed.
Oh, wow.
Oh no!
Wow, don't shoot the messenger, man. Come on.
Yeah, don't shoot him. Stab him in the neck.
Yeah. Carve out his eyeball. What? You got blood all over your face?
Is he taking his pants? Okay. Oh, is that the
Yeah,
2 minutes?
taking his pants off.
Oh, so he's like an actual animal, is what it seems like.
Yeah, this guy is a true animal.
She's new here. Give her some time. She'll understand your style.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Wow.
Oh no.
I think you hit it, like you hit it right on the head. Like this guy is truly a savage animal. Like who are these people?
Killing Balbir was part of a fantastic plan. This would have destroyed the man who built Swastik, the company from where our grandfather was thrown out like a dog. तुम लोगों ने एक simple से तू जा
The dramatic,
मेरे भाई को
sign language
Sorry,
is pretty
boy.
interesting. Oh, that was cool.
That was really cool.
Now you go apologize.
Yes, right. This backstory is just, I feel like since the underwear thing happened, I've been very confused about where we are.
I think I'm even more confused now.
I mean, I'm still excited. Like, this is, like, he's dope. But I'm just lost.
Yeah. There's lots of jumps.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around in his
Is he
birthday
nude?
suit.
Oh, no, he's nude.
A lot of overt sexuality, yeah. You don't normally see that in a lot of these movies.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know, those bullets have to come back down at some point.
Yeah, that's a thing about shooting in the air. Like,
I understand, Beta. You deserve to celebrate. But this is not the way. Just get inside.
आपको जो हार्ट मिला है ना वो इसके फियांसे का है. मैंने बहुत रोका मगर फिर आई गई.
Thank you for letting me in.
जब तक तेरा दिल हल्का ना हो जाए, यही रुक. Okay.
Am I detecting some sort of weird tension between them? What's happening?
she came with luggage.
Right. She came
did she,
there
like-
to stay. That's...
fly here? I don't know. Either way.
Yeah. What is happening? What's happening here? Why is this necessary?
Oh no! What?
Come on. No, you've got a wonderful wife.
तो इतना बेशरम हो जाएगा कभी सोचा भी नहीं था।
दादाजी आपके टाइम में आउट ऑफ मैरिज कभी नहीं?
कभी भी नहीं हुए।
Like, what are you doing, dude? Why is this a big part of the movie?
Yeah, this is so weird. Like, sure, I guess.
I thought you were going after the baddies. Like, what is this?
He is going after the baddies, technically. Just very separate.
Yeah, I guess. Wow. He stopped smoking for her? What? She's so gorgeous, though.
You would cheat on your wife with her, wouldn't you, Luke?
I'm not saying that. Come on.
I'm just kidding.
You didn't even dial once. नाटक क्यों कर रहे हैं? ये भाभी टू कौन है?
वो मेरे जलंधर के फूफा के बेटे की
What would you name her that?
He's just smiling there. He just says nothing.
I want exactly this color. ये possible है? आपकी कोई formalities है तो they'll sort it out.
Freaking rich people, am I?
Oh my gosh.
Same color.
Whoa! Yeah, now the movie's starting back up.
Oh my
again.
god, finally. I've been waiting an hour for us to get back to the. Wow. Okay, here we go.
We sat through 2 romances.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't the whole thing like she was taking care of him? They flash back to the kids.
Right.
What's this?
हम आज निकाह करें. And forget about this. भूल जा.
You're getting married after that?
ये जो हार्ट आपको मिला है, कोई रिश्ता नहीं है मेरा उससे. झूठ बोला मैंने.
Wow.
ये सब एक प्लान था.
किसका?
राहक, जब आप मेरे साथ होते, तो वो आपके पापा को मार डालता. Kill your wife, Gitanjali. Murder your kids, your grandfather, your mother, everybody in your family.
Why is she telling him this? Yeah, that's messed up.
और ये ब्लास्ट आपकी जान लेने के लिए था.
वो ब्लास्ट तेरा मुंह खुलवाने के लिए था. पहले ही दिन से पता था कि तू कौन है.
Wow.
क्या था? तो अब मैं क्या करूं?
मर जाओ.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe die.
इज्जत से पेश आना. वो जहां जाना चाहती है, जब जाना चाहती है, इंतजाम कर देना.
ये काम करने के लिए लोग हैं.
माफ कर दे बेटा.
सजा मैं देता हूँ दादाजी, माफी आप दे देना.
Of course. Wouldn't be a movie if he's not going to get his revenge.
True. It's like I forgot he was trying to impress his dad this whole time.
Yeah, right? He does it in a really weird way.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping with Zoya since the last few weeks.
उसे बात करते करते थककर सोफा पर सो गए क्या?
Mean we got physically involved with each other.
Involved physically मतलब क्या? आप दोनों wrestling खेल रहे थे. You're wrestling champions now.
Did you have sex with her?
Yes.
Well, no shit.
तो ये बोलना कि you had sex with her. Okay, stay away from us.
That's the appropriate response.
I agree.
I made her fall in love with me, so I could know their plan. Whatever I did, Gitanjali, I did it for my father.
You know, I actually suspected something. And my love for you was above my suspicion.
Aw.
ठीक है. अब जाके उसको मार दो.
मैं नहीं कर सकता.
Wow, that's a big ask.
I'll sleep with someone and come to you and say sorry. चलेगा? मैं करूँ?
तू ये नहीं कर पाएगी गीतांजलि.
मैं करूँगी.
Wait and watch.
जब तक तेरे पापा जिंदा है, there won't be one day of peace in your life. तेरे पापा के लिए प्यार जोक नहीं रोग है. I really wish he
She said
died
it.
that day.
रखा तूने?
Oh.
I wish he had died that day.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Whoa.
End it. Shoot.
This is not how I expected this movie to go. Right.
क्या हुआ पापा? कम से कम बेडरूम में तो घर निकला करो. बच्चे सोते हैं, खेलते हैं.
अगली बार नहीं लाऊंगा पापा. अब प्लीज सो जाइए.
After all the things you said.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like she should forgive him, but also this is a big 180.
Yeah, this just I understand that this could happen naturally.
Right.
Like,
But going from I want a divorce and shotgun to the head to that is wild.
yeah, like the movie's telling me they're fine. So I don't
Right.
like that. So I assume he's going to Scotland to
Right.
find this guy.
Is he gonna bring his lawnmower with machine guns on it?
Yeah, I don't know if you can get that through customs.
Right. No, he special ordered something new. So now it's gonna be like a full go-kart or something.
I was so into the other character for a minute when we met him at his wedding and stuff, and he's back now, but like what?
Right. Oh, and this is gonna happen in the
it.
next like 20 minutes, you know, like
Yeah, this is it. This is the showdown.
there's
That's so annoying.
I was hoping they would like build this villain a little bit better, but a little bit more, you know, but
तेरी जिंदगी का मकसद क्या है? स्वास्तिक और बलबीर चाचा को खत्म करना. तू बलबीर चाचा को मार दे, ये अपने आप मर जाएगा. इस महादर को उसके घर में घुस के मारेंगे भाई.
they're just gonna let him invade.
Oh, you're Indian. We're not gonna shoot you. Is that what?
I pray to
सत
God.
श्री अकाल बीजी. भगवान से भीख मांगना बंद करो. अजय की वापस आएगा.
Wow. He's got a point though. He's right.
You don't know where he is.
Oh.
Oh my.
There's no. I'm not laughing at her. The move. It's just sure. Throw it in there.
Of course,
Make this happen.
Of course,
yeah.
her water breaks right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been 9 months since that other.
Build air town. No. 50 miles from here.
I love the chasing a plane. Oh, infighting. Why is there inspirational music right now?
Their
They're
family
gonna
members,
forgive
I
each
guess.
other, give each other hugs.
Surely
Aw,
not.
hug it out. End of movie.
इसे सिर्फ मैं मारूंगा.
Oh, they're gonna duel it out. Mom, punch back.
He's fixing his sleeve.
Yeah, he's getting ready still. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's starting. Ooh. What's this music?
Yeah, I feel like this movie did this a couple of times.
Yeah. Right, where it doesn't quite fit, but somehow it does fit. Oh, now I can't hear anything.
Oh, he can't speak and he can't hear. This is going to be an interesting.
Oh, true.
Something's gonna. Oh, we're
His
back.
shirt comes off.
Nothing changed with the music.
Right. Oh, now his shirt's coming off.
Let's go, Bobby.
Getting steamy in here.
If the song restarts, I swear to God.
No!
Let's move on. Let's. Oh no.
I'm about to smash his face in. So inspiring. So sentimental.
Is the idea that they're just animals in their and I like show like.
It's like these dudes are at the top of society, right? They've got all the money in the world, all the power.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here laying on top of each other with their shirts off.
And it is funny. I get it. The thing is, I get the yeah, like it's the whole alpha thing. And like you kicked my grandfather out. I'll do a push-up.
Right.
Yeah, baby.
Do a push-up. Yeah. And they're like playing into this thing of like they're brothers too, you know. Like that's what you do. That's what you would do to like a sibling when you're roughhousing.
क्या चल रहा है? पिछले 2 घंटे से एक दूसरे को तोड़
2 hours?
मैं रुक जाता हूँ तो रुकेगा
मेरा भाई बोल नहीं सकता
मेरा भाई सुन नहीं सकता
रुकेगा
What?
एक दुख पास रखना है एक दुख.
Yep, he said he would do that. Yeah. Why is he sawing like that? Oh my gosh, golly. He just kind of stood there and let that happen too. Like he didn't really fight that. Wow. Goodness gracious, didn't even take a shower.
Yeah, he flew back like that.
Right, covered. How do you get through TSA like that? I guess he doesn't have to worry about that.
जब वापस घर जाना था ना पैक योर बैग्स हम कल ही निकलते हैं पापा को
The US is not letting you back in. No way. No way.
You've murdered how many people now?
बलबीर सिंह 68 acute lymphoblastic leukemia 4th stage
डॉक्टर्स का कहना है कि 3 से 6 महीने का ही वक्त है मेरे पास।
पापा कुछ नहीं होगा आपको
तूने आज तक जो कुछ भी किया वो इसलिए किया क्योंकि अंदर से तू एक क्रिमिनल है और कुछ भी नहीं।
Wow, it goes. I was thinking about that just a second ago. It all goes back to that.
Yeah.
अरे पापा लेट्स प्ले अ गेम मैं पापा और आप बेटा
पापा
सुनाई दे रहा है बेरा नहीं हूं मैं स्वास्थ्य की स्टॉक रिपोर्ट्स की फाइल्स मेरे डेस्क पे पापा ज्योति अंदर ले जाओ इसे पापा को याद है उस दिन आपने मुझे थप्पड़ भी मारा था याद है लेकिन अब हम एक्टिंग कर रहे हैं और मैं आपको मार नहीं सकता तो क्या करूं हाँ
Enough is it.
But you're not the best father in the world. I believe I'm the greatest son in the world.
मुझसे गलती हो गई बेटा तुझे अपने से दूर नहीं भेजना चाहिए था सब कुछ छोड़कर तुझसे बात करनी चाहिए थी।
Intense. He admitted he was wrong too. Which is
तू
crazy.
पापा
I know.
और मैं तेरा बेटा और वो हर एक गलती जो मैंने की है तू मत करना और उसके अगले जन्म में मैं फिर से पापा और तू फिर से बेटा फिर देखना मैं तुझसे कितना प्यार करूंगा।
Okay.
Wow. This is the ending. This is how they end it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Whoa, what a wild movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Goodness, everyone's in tears. The fight wasn't the climax, it was the dad.
This was the
Son
climax.
was-
Yes, agreed.
That was it, right.
Agreed.
And of course, after all that, the dad has to die from cancer of all things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Vijay, I'm leaving you. बच्चों को लेकर मैं वापस यूएस जा रही हूँ. Vijay.
After his dad is like got diagnosed with like cancer, leukemia, she's gonna leave him.
Okay, we're still
watching a movie here. Like, wow.
Yeah.
अबरार का एक छोटा भाई है जो उससे बेइंतहा मोहब्बत करता है. वो एक प्रोफेशनल बुचर है.
Are they gonna make another one? Are they gonna make Animal 2?
I guess so, where he like goes after
Where this
him.
is the villain?
It's just the lead actor with a different look.
So much blood.
I want to marry you. दो बच्चे हैं. I'll take full responsibility. I hope you're okay with it.
He's covered in blood, holding a butcher's knife. What? Hey everyone, welcome back to Americans Review. I am Luke.
I am Sushant.
And we just watched the movie Animal. And oh man, what a movie.
Yes.
Yeah, why don't you to start? What do you think?
So I think one of the things that's kind of important for the viewers to know is we just finished the movie. So we definitely
Just
had to take like a bit of a breath where we're going into this review completely raw.
I'm still processing what even
Yes.
just happened. Like,
Yes.
wow.
I will
Lots of
say,
blood.
I think what I appreciate about it is the fact that, you know, Luke, myself, that we feel this way. We've come out of it being like, oh, this was an interesting movie. There's definitely things to talk about. There's definitely things it did really well. But I think I also find myself with movies that I think are good, but with a few things could have been so much more. Those movies annoy me the most. And this is one of those movies.
Right. Yeah.
It's just
Okay, I see that.
There's so much good in here. There's so many great performances, really interesting music choices. Some of them I wasn't a fan of. We'll get to as well.
Yeah,
But
right.
it just like it keeps you like, oh, there's so many literal masterclass things in this movie, and
But then there's
there's-
also things that just kind of pull you out of the movie, and you're just like,
Completely.
wait, what? Why? Like, why are you doing this?
yeah,
One of the things I would say I really appreciate about like the main character is you could like see his character. He like stayed extremely true to like who he was the entire time. You know,
Yes.
we had that beginning scene of him, that flashback when he was like protecting his sister, and he kind of like stayed true to that the entire time. Now, this man is insanely deeply flawed and all sorts of terrible things about him. You know, not a good guy necessarily. He's kind of plays part of a villain even, but
Right.
you know, you could see that no matter like what he did, it still followed true to his intense like emotions of love and hate. So
Definitely, yeah. It never felt like he made an action out of character at any point, and he does some really bizarre and like wild things in this movie too. So to pull that off and to make that make sense is like an achievement in and of itself.
yeah,
It is interesting though because like I feel like it's not so. Why I'm kind of like a bit unsure of how to make this is like the character makes sense. All the characters kind of make sense, but I feel like the movie itself just does things that are kind of random and strange and like out of nowhere, and not in a way that like I feel like adds to what we're already seeing. But like, so for example, we're going to talk spoilers of this movie. It's been out for a couple months. It's like I get the idea. A lot of the movie in the beginning is like he's in school learning about being an animal, and because of his father not being present, he kind of has this warped idea of what an alpha is and stuff like that. And that, for the first hour and a half, that completely plays in. And then like, it's almost like we forget about the father entirely. That entire thing just is like, I'm like, oh, right, he's doing that for this. Is there something to say about, trauma? I don't really think so. It just feels like, oh, we got too distracted with a giant machine gun and a random plot line of like, we have to go to Scotland and stuff. And it's just like, okay, I guess,
it does kind of lose sight for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and even when they introduced Bobby Deol's character, the villain he eventually fights at the end on the runway, I'm like, I remember the way like the screen wipes up. You know, you have the lead's face, and then the screen wipes up to reveal him. I'm like, oh, these are the like, you know, the one-to-one comparison. This is who the bad guy is. I'm really
Yeah.
excited to learn about him. We get a great introductory scene, and that's it. And I'm like, oh,
And then they just show up to fight him, and then that's the movie, you know, like, yeah. And they introduce him like 3/4 of the way through, and he's like, you know, and they have this cool backstory for him with like this whole revenge family system dynamic, and I do agree, it could have, you know, could have played into that one.
I think before I pass it off to you to talk some more, I will say I'm starting to get the sense that like this movie just does too much and like doesn't find a way to balance all of the, because it has interesting ideas. It has interesting ideas about like, oh, you know, how destructive it can be to try and be an alpha, how like, you know, he's harmful to the women in his life, how he makes excuses for things. Those things are really cool. It's like a rounded idea, but it just like, it throws in so much other random stuff that it like becomes impossible to completely make sense of by the end of it.
And and that's what kind of makes it so hard to kind of compress and like digest at the end. One thing that I thought was pretty cool was, you know, I was saying earlier how most of these movies there's a big fight scene and maybe the main character gets injured, and then they just kind of like jump to a month later and he's totally fine. But here they really play into his injury and how he has to recover, and his strength of will, you know, carries him through. So I thought that was really unique and interesting. But, you know, yeah, they're doing all these different things. They're doing that plus the things with his wife, and they lose sight, I think, of, you know, that main storyline of what they're trying to show and accomplish.
Yeah, yeah. It again, the individual parts are very interesting though. So definitely gonna give props to that. Like I'm like, oh, when he's having an affair, it's like they somehow have this blend of, you know, the drama's interesting. Some of the weird comedy bits, even in that sequence, are interesting. And I'm like, you know, they're still able to keep you invested enough. So I definitely want to give you props for that. I will say like, I want to take a moment to talk about some of the performances too, because like this movie could easily fall apart in a million ways with the over the top nature of it, but everyone like stands their ground in a way that makes sense for the movie. And you know, to your point about him dealing with his injuries, that was a really like, again, an interesting departure. A lot of departures. That was an interesting departure for sure.
Right. Definitely. It was really intense, you know.
Yeah.
And with the intensity that like rides throughout this entire movie, they cut it with that really goofy stuff, you know, like him just walking out on the lawn naked, or just like the whole underwear exchange thing. Like that was totally not necessary.
Yes.
So goofy, so silly.
Yes.
Part of what made it, you know, 3.5 hours long. But
yes.
You know, yeah, we got through it. So yeah.
We did. And I will say like 80% of the time the music, that's the thing, I can't fully give one thing just like, oh, other than the performances, like this was all completely amazing, because
100% great.
Yeah because the music, some of the time, some of the best background movie music I've ever experienced.
Like, and then really intense, deep,
really intense, really brooding, fantastic. And then some of the time it's like, I get what you're trying to do to play like this, you know, inspirational brotherly music when they're kind of
talking about the end, right?
Each other on the runway. And there's a few examples like that in one of the early action sequences too, where they're in the hotel, where they try to play like this juxtaposing music, but it doesn't feel like it comes together in selling the coolness like we've seen in other action films, I guess. Like,
it didn't build it properly either, because I noticed that like they would stop the sentimental music in like at some section, and then they just start it again, you know, and it doesn't progress forward. It's just kind of, you're playing the same thing.
Right. That being said, some of the background music when we're learning about the animal being an actual animal, brilliant. Right. And I mean,
incredible.
If you get a chance to watch our live reactions, you should, because like there are moments where Luke and I are like in shock, losing our mind.
Stunned.
Stunned in amazement. Because like seeing when when the lead sister, the lead's name is Ranbir, but like when the lead sister is, harassed, and then he goes to the college to like get revenge.
Yeah.
That whole
Oh
sequence
man.
feels so intense and real, and the performances are amazing, and
Right.
they made him
Oh
look younger,
gosh.
like spotlessly. It really like
Mhm.
I will say for a good half of this movie, I was truly just like captivated in everything going on, like for
Yeah.
sure. Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that I would say like that was really really good, but I couldn't give it 100% a thumbs up is the cinematography. There were some really cool shots, some really cool sweeping around motions. The how they set up like introduce new characters and introduce drama and things like that. But there were just a few parts, especially in the action scenes with when they had guns, that it just felt a little, I don't know, choppy, but like rushed maybe, and it just a little discombobulated.
I agree. It was like a combination of, I think, the edit and the way it was shot, that like if you're gonna cut it really quick, you need to kind of fully establish what we're seeing, but the cinematography didn't really add to
Yeah.
that either. And it was like they both were kind of taking away from like Luke and I understood the action, but I feel like I personally couldn't tell you spatial, like even in one of the early dialogue scenes I noticed this
Right.
too, where way early before he gets kicked out of the house and stuff too, where he's fighting with the in-law, and it's the 60th birthday cake, and like there's a couple of people sitting down, like those two are like he and his brother-in-law are like head to head in the way they talk, and then like you'll have the other people in the family sitting down and looking at him, and they're framed like dead center, and it's like cut so quick when they're introduced that it's almost like I don't have a moment, and the eye lines aren't suggesting like who's where in the room. So I'm almost
Yeah.
just very disoriented at like who's actually reacting to what, who's on whose side. Like there's little
Mhm.
moments like that that are very odd. But then you were talking about the action. To flip side that, in the hotel, there's this one like I don't know. It's almost like it's like
Yes.
going in a circle
I
shot
know
where like
exactly what you're talking about.
he's beating up like 7 or 8 people in this like single shot, and like they
He's
do
got
the speed
accent.
ups. Yeah, they do the speed up slow down thing, just to kind of like keep it interesting and fresh. But that stuff is amazing. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good.
Yeah, they're
Um,
doing like a zoom in, zoom out, and all this stuff. Yeah, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, a surprising one where in the 3.5 hour runtime. I mean, Luke was expecting like the dance number type things. I get that the movie is not that kind of movie, so for sure.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
an interesting choice I loved. I don't know if this is how you interpret it or not, but like the moment the conversation with um his father at the end like happens, and like he recreates like the childhood trauma, and then he leaves the
Mhm.
house and he's sitting and he's crying. The moment the credits start rolling, I'm like, oh right, like the idea here is like for him the thing with the dad is the end. The thing about his wife, yeah. The thing about that, yeah, whatever.
Right.
Like none of that
Right.
matters. Like I like the idea behind it, and there's a lot of like moments like that that are sprinkled throughout the film that are really interesting choices, really unique, and kind of add to a lot of some of the ideas that the film was trying to put across, essentially.
Yeah, 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 totally.
Mm.
Um, Yeah, no, I think that I really like how there was that part where we kind of forget that he's doing all this for his father, but it did wrap it up nicely at the very end where they do have that final conversation, confrontation, and they can
Mhm.
finally like talk person to person and
Yes.
about it. And they do a lot of really good stuff with just like referencing, establishing something at the very beginning of the movie, and then like wrapping it up. Because
Mhm.
like at the very like one of the first scenes dad, comes home after not being there for his birthday, opens up the little note that his son wrote about, I want to be your papa. And then that's how they wrap it up too in their conversation,
Yes. Yes.
uh, lots of references to the going back to defend his sister, in the college. We talked about that.
Yes.
So
It's almost like those things would have hit harder if there was like 30 minutes of the stuff we didn't feel like we needed sort of taken away. Then it's like,
yeah,
oh, this all feels,
if it felt a little
'cause-
closer to itself, yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. That being said, there's definitely interesting. I think that's the thing. Like a movie like this, I will say it's interesting. While I can't say I loved everything about it, I appreciate it because I get to leave it being like, oh, I have a lot to think about and a lot to like
Yeah.
not to wrestle with, dare I say, not to be too like film bro about it, but I'm like, oh, this was an interesting movie, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that part of it. And there's a lot of good stuff in there that I've certainly taken away and will remember
Right.
for
And
sure.
for most of the movie, I was engaged. I was interested. You know.
Yes.
So overall, I did enjoy it for sure, and there was many interesting points to ponder.
And there's going to be a sequel, which is,
That's what it
you
seems
know,
like. Yeah.
yeah, it seems like it. Intrigued because the director so far has made 3 films. He made a film in Telugu, and then he remade it in Hindi. I believe we reacted to the trailers, like to
Yeah.
compare them, and
Mhm.
then he made Animal. So it's like, okay, like I'm intrigued to see where he goes. I kind of
Yeah. It's gonna be-
yeah, if the sequel's next, I mean, I will watch it. I think what I will say is Animal is what it's on Netflix in the US. It's probably on streaming somewhere in India and around the world as well. There's a lot to take in. It's pretty messy, but there's a lot to take in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's real messy.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Well, any final remarks?
Um, uh, some of the best background music and performances of last year for sure. I want to leave it at that. A good note. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what they do with the progression of his hair and how he changes like his thing throughout the movie. Um, it felt very raw, and I just loved how he stuck to his like character. Right, we knew who he is, that deep, intense hate, deep, intense love, and he wrote it through the whole way. Not without straying from it. So.
Absolutely. And with a man who has as luscious hair as you do, a compliment about hair is a big deal.
I don't know about that, but
Yes.
he's got some pretty great hair.
He's got some pretty good hair.
Yeah.
Well, you want to do the outro? Or do I have to do the outro?
I think you take it away. Yeah.
I'll take it. All right. Unless you have any other thoughts.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it for me.
I'm still processing, honestly.
I'm surprised. You know what? We'll probably come back with another review that's going to be completely different once we slept on it and been like, "Oh, that was the greatest movie ever."
That was
Oh, that was
terrible,
awesome.
terrible
Yeah. No, sure. But yes, if you've seen Animal, let us know your thoughts down below. We'd love to interact with you on the channel and kind of like also hear opinions about a movie like this because we,
Maybe you think that the opposite things of what we thought, and that is totally fine. And
yeah,
I'd be interested to hear about it.
We'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, I mean, come on, what are you doing? We also have a Patreon where you can see our live reactions and things like that. Luke's social media, my social media down below. To kind of keep up with our day to day. If you're interested in seeing what the reviewers do outside of this, and thank you for being here. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks for being here. You're awesome.
Thank you for being here. You're
later.
awesome.